Hey, welcome back guys. Okay, so far we have one drop down menu that's working, but we need the mega menu to work as well. But before we proceed here, I keep forgetting that we have responsive design here to think about as well. So as you can see here, there is a logo, our logo, but there is a button here. I only know there's a button here because there's this hover effect over here. So I'm not really sure why. Probably the code isn't right, but we can use the same clickety-click here to see what's going on down here. And from what I can see here, there's a bit of weirdness going on. So there's my drop down here and another my drop down here. So if I click on this one, nothing happens. If I click on this one, something happens. So I think this is the part where, because if I look at the classes, so this will differ depending on how your actual menu is like. So this is why it's key to study the menu you have and to know how these CSS styles work. Okay, so here we have, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so there's this class here that I removed without realizing. You see this class desktop item and there's mobile item here. So I'm thinking mobile item class is for those things that will show on the mobile version only, and desktop item for the desktop item only. This is why we had two of those that I was saying, why do we really have two of these and stuff? Where is this? So this is mobile item. So this one has to be desktop item the same way this mega menu is. There's desktop item here and mobile item here. This can be handy sometimes if there are menu items you want only to show on very specific views. So I think we're going to add an extra, what's this? An extra, maybe we can add an extra column to accommodate this style here. Okay, so what I would do is I'll grab this from the mega menu and put it here. This is just a class in the A class, in the A tag here. So if I do that, that will make this drop down desktop, and then this will show on mobile only. So hopefully that actually works as it should. Let me come here and refresh. So if I now refresh and click, oh, okay, something did happen, right? But now we have, at least we have one of these, and our mega menu actually shows up down here, which is pretty cool. Look at that, very nice. But we've lost the other stuff here. However, if I close this, I see that stuff is here. So it is there on the desktop, but not on the mobile version. And the reason is because you shouldn't forget that this loop is for all items. So we should only add this part if this is a drop-down menu. So we already have an if statement that checks if this is a drop-down, and it does over here. Also, because we're going to be having mega menus and non-mega menus, we are supposed to put an AND statement here. So I'm going to say AND, let's say link is mega, like that. This should not be true. So let's put an exclamation point there. And is mega, like that. Now the thing is, this is mega sometimes does not exist. Okay, so sometimes it doesn't exist, so we have to make sure it's always there, because those items we added to using the other plugins don't have this is mega. So this may cause some errors. Let's try that and see. Let me close this. Okay, maybe it isn't causing. Okay, is mega is 1. So what we can say, if not empty, like that, I think this will solve the problem, because not empty also checks to see if the item exists before trying to. So the reason we didn't get any errors is because all the ones that don't have children do not need this is mega thingy there. So it would have caused a problem a bit later, but we fixed it in advance here. Now also here we should only show this part if, oh wait, this is wrong. If empty, wait, if not empty is mega. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this part again, this one here, and put it in here. So I want this desktop item to only show if this item has children. So I'll put a question mark and put this inside a single thingy like that, and then put an empty and close that. Okay, so here instead of putting that if statement, we'll put an equal sign for echo, and then this represents the if statement. So if this is not empty, which means it has children, then we will show the desktop item here. Otherwise we'll ignore, because none of this will exist anyway. So this should solve our problem here. Okay, so syntax error just means I didn't type something properly. So let's see, which page is 272, right about here. So I made some mistake here. What mistake did I make? Okay, so there's a missing bracket, closing bracket. So let me just remove this one at the beginning. So, okay, there we go. So we have our desktop version working just fine. If I now go to responsive design, let's see if things are working, and look at that, very nice. Oh, but the drop down is missing as well. So what's happening? What did I do? So if not have children, no. If empty, no. If not empty, so if this is not empty, then we echo this class. If it is empty, then we echo nothing. Okay, so this should work as intended. So for those, we empty this, and then desktop item here. What is going on? There's also mobile item here. Okay, something weird here. Because my drop down is missing, and it shouldn't be missing. Log out, log in. Because if I open like that, it's there. Okay, so let's view our page source. Let's try to find out what's going on here. So let's go to our menu, la menu. So here, clearly the classes are not here, but dropdown is here, and it has desktop items. So yeah, things are good, I guess. But why then is it empty in there? Why is it empty? So there's nothing inside it. I think it's this part I put here. So link is for that, right? You know what? I should have put this over here. Oh, wait. No. This should be right here, actually. So let me think about this. This is mega is empty. Okay, so if not empty, on this particular one, mega is empty, which means it is not a mega menu. So if not empty, which means it is a mega menu, then it comes here. Okay, so I should remove this. If empty, then okay, cool. I think that works. So that was my bad there. Let's refresh. Sometimes if statements can be confusing. Okay, so responsive again, and let's click on that, and things are looking up. Very good, very good. Okay, okie dokie. So with this in mind, now we can deal with the mega menu as well. So let's go ahead with that. Now what I need here is to know whether the item is a mega menu or not. And most of this looks pretty much the same now, except for when we have show mega here as opposed to show drop. So we're looking at differences in class names. So mega box. Right. Okay, so this would be solved quite easily actually by just putting an if statement. So because this will only run if it's just a normal drop down, then we can just put the other thing to run when it's a mega menu. So here I'm going to say else, put a full colon there, and let's grab the content. Okay, so looking at this, let's see what happens when I remove. There's a div here with a row. What happens when I remove this row over here? So remove that. Let's see if we just have one row left. Okay, so it does its own spacing here, which is awesomeness. So let's delete the other one because we just need one for reference. Okay, great. So if I refresh, there we go. Okay, so it does its own thing here, which is awesomeness. Let me just make sure that the styles are exactly the same on every one of these. Very cool. Okay, so there we go. Okay, now we don't need to actually delete this, just for reference, I guess. So what I would do now is I will grab the rest of this. Can be the same as on that part there. So the only part that starts to change is here. So let me grab this up to that. Okay, I should know when to stop. Just after the list item, right? There's a megabox div. So all of this up to just before the list item. So I'm going to copy all of this and I will come here and paste over here. So this is added, but then the mega menu items are added over here. And let me tab this in like so. Awesomeness. And then let's grab now instead of an else here, we should put an else if, because this has to be true here. So I'm going to copy this and put it there. So if it has children but not empty, so it is mega, let's put it here. And when that happens, we need this mobile thingy here. So I'm going to grab this content and put it here. Okay, what else we need? We need this line over here, the link itself. Now this is the thing, you see the kids in here, so design services, okay, this is going to make things a little complex, but not too much. So what we'll do is inside one of these we need to loop. So there is a header, okay, so a div. So we just need to leave one of these divs. So I'll remove this one and this one as well. Just make sure when you're deleting, you delete the opening and the closing of that item, that element, to avoid breaking your HTML. Okay, cool. This is all nice. Now let's what do we do? There's a loop here to be done. Now this loop should only occur if we do indeed have content there. So this is what we are doing here. So I'm going to copy this and put it over here. Oops. So there's two loops that need to happen. The first loop is if there are children to this mega menu, they ought to appear here. So I'm going to copy this and if boom. Alright, so I'll tab these guys in like so. So if not empty children. Now instead of no, this is not what we are looking for here. This should be a child. Where is the child part? Okay, so here's a loop that goes in with a child here. So I'm gonna copy this and bring it over. Okay, so we already know it has children. So over here we should have that children loop. So we can replace this actually with that for each. And let me copy this. So we can loop through those kids. So as child, of course, and the child title will be here. So I'm gonna copy this. In fact, I need to copy that. Now these children here do not have links. These are not links, so this is fine here. And we'll leave these guys for now because this is a whole another can of worms here we have to unpack. Okay, also there's an image here, right? This is an online image here, so that's great, but we need a local version of the image here. And we should only do that if there's an image to be seen here. So if there's no image, we should forget. But I'll leave that for now as we are testing. So, syntax error, my favorite kind of errors, 311, because these are the easiest to deal with. So 311 says, okay, so it says else, so there's a missing. If you open a for each, you must close it. If you open an if statement, you must close it. So have I forgotten something? This list item here is like this. Okay, so here it's because I didn't put my else like that, because then this needed a closing if statement. Okay, so there we go. Cool. Now things are working as intended. My drop down. Now we need to make a mega menu here. So let's go to our part here and let's add a new menu. So we'll call it my mega, just so it's different from the other ones there. And we'll put our hash symbol there. And since it's a mega menu, is this a mega? Yes. There's no parent or anything. Let's save that. We will fix this, do not worry. So my mega menu is over there. So if I now refresh, we have my mega, but it has no kids. So nothing is going on over there. But let's give it some kids, shall we? So we'll say mega child. Oh, we can't put numbers, right? Mega child A, something like that. Let's use letters. And we will need to select the parent, which is my mega. That's great. And hit save. All right. Cool. Back. So there we are, my mega a child. So let's see if we refresh, we will have a mega menu. But apparently the mega menu doesn't look very mega on this one at all. So it's going to the wrong place. So let's see what issues we are having. If I go to mega in the menus list here, let's make sure first of all that is mega is actually 1, but it isn't, see, on this thing. So is mega did not save. So why it did not save? Well, let's make sure here it exists, and it does. That's cool. But so where did we go wrong then? Is mega. Let's go to the add.php. Let's make sure that the name is correct. Is this a mega menu? So that's where the problem is. It's disabled here instead of is mega. So I forgot that. So is mega should be there like so. Okay, so that solves the problem. Next time it will show, but for now let's just put a 1 here for is mega. And let's refresh. Now if we go in there, this is what we get, you see? My mega, and there's mega child A over here. If we make mega child B, we will see 2 of these, I guess. So let's go add and say mega child B, like this, and we must select the parent, which is my mega, and hit save, like so. Okay, so back, and if I refresh, there we go. So as you can see, you can keep adding content here to make it more robust. Now we're going to need to deal with the images. But before that, let's deal with the links down here. How do we create these links? Well, it's as simple as what we did already. We'll just say mega child B should be the parent of whatever we add here. So what I'll do is, let's go back to menu PHP over here for a second. And so within this, we need to loop. So let me remove the extra content like that. And here we need to create a loop. So the loop should only happen if there are children to this particular item. And we can ask if there are children easily with one of these if statements. So I'm going to grab this guy over here. Now in this case, we don't really care to check whether this is a mega menu or not, because it's a child. Once it becomes a child, it gives up the right to be a mega menu. So which means we don't need this other condition over here. Just make sure there are 2 brackets over there. Okay, so we have 1 over here. If this child has children of its own, now this one will be grandchildren. So let's just do grandchildren like that. That's what we'll call them. Okay, so grandchildren over here. And now we need to loop through the grandchildren if they exist. So just like we are looping with this for each over here, I'm going to put that for each here. Now we could have done a recursive formula here instead. Instead of doing this, there's what we call recursion, where the function calls itself. A function calls itself as many times as it needs to. But we're not doing that here because we know there can only be a maximum of 2 steps. We don't have a 3rd step here. It's this loop here plus this loop here to give this loop here. So we know there's a limit. We can't have this have sub-children over here. So recursion is not necessary. We can just directly put as many for each loops as we need. But if you find yourself having an infinite version of this, you need to use what is known as recursion. Maybe I'll do a video on that, how to recursively call a function. Then that way you can have unlimited levels. Okay, so this is fine. We'll do an for each loop for the grandchild. So we're gonna do this link. Let me copy this. Let's put here grandchildren, and we will, what am I gonna do here? We'll call this one grandchild, and then we will put a title over here. Let's say grandchild title, and a link, I guess. Where are the other links? So I'll copy this in here and put it there. Bam! This one for grandchild though. So let's copy that grand and make sure here it's grand as well, and here it's grandchild and slug. Alrighty then, looking good. Now we need to find these grandchildren, otherwise this will never work. But let's check it out as it is right now. So if I go my mega, this is what we get. We don't have anything under these guys. So that's fine. But let's add some content under those guys, shall we? So in this situation, we are going to add another item. So this one will be grandchild B, like that. So no link there, but the parent will be on the mega child B. That is its parent, and hit save. Okie dokie. Let's go back again and let's add grandchild A as well. So we'll do grandchild A, and the parent will be mega child A. Let's save that. Let's add at least 2 items on one of them, right? So that we can see whether it's looping properly or not. So we'll say grandchild C over here, but this one will still be on the mega child B, and let's hit save. Okay. So hopefully that's not too confusing, but if I refresh, this is what I should get. Now the kids there are not there because we are not pulling them from the database, right? So what we got to do is go back to our plugin where we are reading. This is main menu, plugin.php, where we are doing the before menu links. Here where we say get menu with children, right? And let's go find that guy. So we go down here, and this is the part we want. So if children exist, this is all good. So what I'm going to do is put brackets over here and then do a recursion here. Of course, I'm going to copy this inside children. So here we set that value, but then we're going to loop through those kids as well. So a for each loop for the children in this case. So I'm going to loop through the kids to get grandkids, right? So loop through here, and there's a row. Now be careful with this. You don't want to replace these guys here. So here I'm going to put an I on each one of these just to make them different, because you can get so frustrated if you forget you have another loop here and you keep replacing your data in these values, and that can cause you a nightmare, an unmitigated nightmare. Okay, so here we'll do grandchildren, and we'll do exactly the same thing here, but don't forget that this is I row now. So we'll say I like this, but everything else is the same. And then we'll grab this part here and paste it over there. In our case here, we don't need the bracket because there's only one line in this. So instead of children, we're gonna replace that with grandkids like this. Now instead of, we should have to be careful where we are putting this, right? This is inside data result key, right? So that key has an object, right? So inside that object, what I want to find, actually this is interesting now at this point. How do I find what I'm looking for? Okay, so for a second here, what we can do is, let's do this, because sometimes it can be hard to visualize what's going on. So if grandkids are correct, what I want to look at is what I have right now. So I'm going to want to echo out this. So I'm going to do this. So I want to know how to access. So you see, result key is all good because it gets me this particular object that I'm in right now, and I'm not even sure if I can loop through this object. Are objects loopable at all? Wait a minute. Children. Oh, okay, so this is the result of that, but we've put that result in here. Okay, that's where we've put it. So I want to get one item from here. So actually it can be done. I don't even need to view this stuff. I know this is the part where I've put the children, but this represents an array of objects as well. So that's the part I need to update. So I'm going to do this. Bam. So this children, now remember this is an array, and that array there has a key. each one of those items has a key there that we are going through over. So I'll grab this and put it here. I think this solves the problem, yes. And then within here, I'm going to say grandchildren, and then put that in there. So this may look a little confusing at first, but think about it. This is the result, the current item in this result. So we are trying to manipulate the result set, which is this one. We are not trying to manipulate the row, because if we add data to this row, it won't be returned, because this data is being returned from there. This is the data that's going out of this function, and that's what we need to modify, not the row here or this iRow there. We're just using these guys to loop through something. But in the end, we still need to manipulate the actual data that is being returned here. And so this data result is an array of objects. So since it's an array, it's got a key there for each item. So we grab that specific item, and in that specific item, which is an object, we create children, right? And now we access the whole thing. Now that children thing is an array of objects as well. So in there we need to get a very specific array key, and then in there we create an object called grandchildren, and then grandchildren. So hopefully this makes sense. Let's see if we get any errors. Apparently not, so this is good. If I go my mega, now you see the content showing up here as it should. Okay, so you can put your content there, see how many of these can fit here so that you know the limits and stuff. Maybe this can go down even further. I'm not really sure. I haven't tested that. Now finally we have to deal with the image here over there. Now the thing with images is you have to keep images to a minimum in terms of size to keep your website very fast. So let's look at what's going on with this image. If I right click and inspect, even though it disappears, but the inspection will know where to go. If I hover on this, you will see that the original file is 1280 by 855 pixels. Okay, so that's great. That's 1280 wide and 853 height. Okay, that's good. So it has a very specific size because of that resolution. But if we come down over here, this part shows us the layout itself. So make sure there's layout over here. This may be slightly different in Chrome. I'm using Firefox here, but it should have something similar. So let me zoom in. Let me increase the space here. If we go down here, this shows us the box model of the item we've selected. So that's the image here, and this is the box model. Now, if you notice something here, on this side, it shows us that the image is 1280 by 853. However, on the box, you will see that the actual display size is 246 by 163. Now, you have to be careful on that as well. Let me try and move it down like this, and let's see if that changes. Okay, so that doesn't change at all, which is good. So there it is. Inspect. We still get the same value. So 246, 163. That's the number we should keep in mind. It's actually 163.9. So let's just put it at 164. So 246 by 164. So let's write that down. 246 by 164. Is it? Yeah, exactly. So we maintain that because that's what we should trim it to there, using the get thumbnail thing there. Okay, cool. Now the way I want things to work is that if an image exists, we should trim it before we even go to the menu. I just want the menu page to just display content here. Maybe just display the image over here if it does exist, instead of it worrying about but no, maybe we can do it from here. Actually, it could work right there. So what I'm gonna do is, let's check out let's check if the image exists. So we're gonna say if how do we do this? Actually, we just need the get thumbnail. Let me do this for now. So I'm going to just mute this for a second. Okay, I think we have a copy of this. Yes, we do. So no need to worry about it. We do have a copy in case we need to read from there. So here, this one will take us to row. This is for the mega image. Like that. Okay. So mega image over here. Very cool. So now, because we know this image does not exist, so what I'm going to do is put this inside the get image, right? Or get thumbnail function. Is it like this, or did I make it like this? This is why, you know, this is my bad. Don't follow this bad habit. If you use camel case, you should probably use camel case everywhere, but if you use this underscore version like this, you should probably do that for everything. Otherwise it becomes difficult to know which version you used where. So let's check it out. Let's go to models inside the app and let's look at image. So there's a resize function, and down here there's a get thumbnail. I don't know why I did this version instead. Very disorganized. Okay, so get thumbnail over here, and this is what we have. Okay, cool. So get thumbnail, we get the image. Why did I close it? We get the file name and the width and height. So cool. Let's go back here. Let me close that. What's the width and height? We did write that somewhere. 246, 164. So say 246, 164. That will be our thumbnail. Okie dokie. And what else do we get here? Now with thumbnails, you see, we should figure out something to check if the resolution is the same. What I mean here is, if I go to image here, it's always good to think ahead of time. You see, we always check if file exists, right? And if the file does... Wait, it's here. Where are we checking if file exists? Yeah. If file exists, file name. Okay, that's good. Then if file exists, we return the destination. But on this one, if the existing file has a different resolution to this one, then we should probably generate a new one and only return it if we are looking for that exact resolution, right? So that's something to keep in mind as well. But for now, we'll leave that be. And what we're going to do is, let me go to menu here. I probably should check to see if the file exists here either. So I'm going to say PHP if not empty. It's better to just check if it's not empty first of all, and file exists. Okay. Let's do that, and then we can do this. I don't know if this is valid where we don't put the end if here or not. Yeah, no. That's invalid code. So let's copy this and put it over here. Move it out like so. Okay. Now let's go to my mega. There is no image here. So I guess the mega menu always requires some kind of image, but this is fine. We'll leave it as it is. Okay, so now we need to actually show that image, and let's try and do that. So I'll go back here, but before we deal with images, let's deal with some other things that wait, mega menu. I think this is okay. Okay, cool. So let's do something here real quick. So I'm gonna go to the admin section, and this is our page. Let's see if the search works. So let's try to search for all grandkids. Okay, so the search does work. I never tested that. Okay, so back to reality, and we need to deal with images. Okay, we'll deal with them in the next video. Let's look at permissions here. Okay, so some do have permissions, these don't have this flag. Okay, so I think it's clear to see what's going on here, but if I click on view over here, I don't see all the nice stuff here that I need to see. So let's fix at least that one thing. So I'm going to click on view for this one, and let's go to the view page, shall we? I'm going to go main menu, views, and front end. No, we are in the admin section. Oh, I didn't move them to the admin. Okay, so we will move them in the end. Hopefully I don't forget that. Let's click on the view. So the view here will look pretty much like the ad. So what I'll do is, let's grab all this that's on the add section here. Actually, so everything within this div, okay, starting with this div here, after new record, starting with all of this, active, wait, is this all part of it? Yeah, except for the buttons here. So up to here. Okay, so that's that. Let's copy that. Let's go to view, and just after view record here, of course, we will load, and before the buttons, so up to here, paste. Okay, so we need to tab them a little bit. Wait, where is this problem coming from? Oh, so right there. Okay, so if I come to view here, refresh, this is what I get. Okay, cool. But let's replace the inputs with actual divs. So the image part will remain. We don't need any of these error messages, so let's remove all of these guys, and that one too. And of course I'll change this input to like that, and close that div. Let's say row title, like that. We don't need to use old value, we can just use escape actually. And let's remove this. Okay, so let's refresh, and there it is. Cool. Now there's that, and then there's slug, right? But because they are similar here, I'll just do this, change that slug, and this one to icon. Okay, so this is 12, 12. So slug is 12, so let me remove that. Icon is 6, so let me put 6 over here and remove the icon part here. Let's do that. So before we go further, we have to make sure we are not killing anything. Apparently we are. So let's see. Row slug, row icon. What mistakes am I doing here? So let's go to the page source. We should see some errors there. What is happening? Why? Wait a minute. Permission? Oh, this is the stuff. So grandchild, okay, so that's empty and that's empty. Oh, so that's probably why. Okay, so what we're gonna do to make things a little better, let me just remove these the internal ones here. Wait a minute. Move the like this. So what I can do over here is I can put a border, just so we can see when there is something. Okay, so grandchild. Now instead of border, instead let's add form control. So they kind of look like forms, but they're form controls, but I think that's better because this gives it some padding, etc, etc, and so on. So here maybe we can put titles like title and then slug and icon, something like this. That way at least we see something. Okay, so there we go with icon. This one should be 6, so I don't know why. What is happening here? What is happening? What is happening? Let's move this out like so. Oh, I see. Maybe. Yeah, maybe form control and this are contradicting. Okay, let me try if I put a div here instead, right? Let me close the div here. And let's put a class and put form control here instead and remove this one. Okay. Okay, so that works better. Okay, cool. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we'll use this version. So I want permission here. So I'm gonna do permission. That way we can delete this one. And I want parent as well. Let's duplicate that like so. And let's say parent. For now we'll just keep parent as the ID. We will show actual text later. So this can help me remove this whole part here. And there is mega menu over here. Let me duplicate that and copy this text here and put it here. Let's just say is mega menu. There will be, instead of this, we need yes or no. So I'm going to do this, say if that is true, I'll put a question mark. If is mega, we say yes, otherwise we say no, like that, and close that. Let's see, is mega menu, and we can delete that. So this is all 666. Let's refresh. Okay, so the icon parent 10 is mega, no, active, yes. What else do we need here? If there is activity, wait. So slug and title are full length. Which one am I missing here? Icon, parent. Okay, so parent is 12 usually, eh? Yeah, okay. So then let me duplicate this one like that, and because this is for active, so active, code disabled in there, If it is true it's disabled, then we have to swap this, which means it's not active. So let's move that there, like so. Okay guys, so at least we won't be getting any errors once we view this. So is mega menu? No. Active? Yes. Icon? We should see. A slug? We should see. So let's try one with an actual slug. Let's come back here and click view on this contact us, and there it is. Is that the icon? No. That's the class. No, that's the permission. So instead of icon here, it should be permission. Yep. So back again. Boom. Okay, so at least viewing now works. So we have to deal with the edit and delete at this point. Alright guys, if I click delete, what do I get? Okay, so that's pretty good there. We can easily handle the delete view section by just copying this content here from there up to where it's here, right? So we can easily do that now. Are you sure? So from the are you sure up to here, like so. Where did I paste? Okay, there we go. So I just want to move these guys in a little bit. What did I do? Okay, it was supposed to be like this. Alrighty then, so back to the delete. Let's try that. Are you sure you want to delete? Okay, great. So at least those two work. What we want to deal with is the edit. So we have the add that works here, and we have the view that works. Now we just need the edit. The delete probably works, but we'll have to deal with the controller as well there. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video.